G'day YouTube. Warbles on a lot here. Got a little bit of a mystery for you. It regards work gloves, the leather kind. Now, when I grew up, I never saw anyone using leather work gloves. Gloves were for cold weather or ladies' fashion sort of thing. Men doing hard work, they worked hard enough and long enough and often enough that their skin toughened up. And you didn't suffer from splinters because the splinter just couldn't dig in through the calluses on the inside of your fingers and palms. And if you did get a splinter, well, you used the pointy end of a penknife or maybe a sewing needle to dig it out. And if you couldn't get it out, well, when the fingers swelled up and went red, you'd stick it in some hot salty water and you'd dig the splinter out by your own immune response. But anyway, about 5 years ago, the bloke who went on to become my brother-in-law was moving house and I was given a hand. And when I showed up, the job involved moving dirty, dusty, sawn timber out of the shed. And he offered me a pair of work gloves. So to be polite, I took them and I used them and they were good. I found that they were good. And I went to hand them back and he said, "Oh, no, you can keep them." And I raised my eyebrows and he said, No. Truck driver, they give us a new pair every week. Part of the ration sort of thing. Don't worry about it. So I got to be using the things. And yeah, not all the time, but yeah, loading firewood in a trailer load quantity, a good thing to do. It just made life a little bit safer and easier, and considering the convenience of having one finger out of action while you heal the splinter or the cut, cost benefit analysis, better off having the gloves on. And who cares about the testosterone-based real men don't wear sissy skins type of bullshit? So I was wearing these gloves and then eventually I got a hole in a finger on a work glove. And seeing as I'm right-handed, I had expected to be doing much more with my right hand and therefore it would be the right glove that got the first hole. But lo and behold, that was not so. Somehow it was the left glove that failed first. And therefore, the right glove was put aside into a safe place, and I was waiting for a day when the replacement pair of gloves might have a right glove failure. And when it had a right glove failure, I would wind up with two gloves with holes in them and two gloves that worked. So that would have been functional. But in the meantime, I wanted to come up with an actual functional use, a job for this glove with all the lovely leather that so much work had gone into manufacturing and sewing up into a glove. I didn't want to waste that. And this is the best I could come up with. When you go to use your still parallel sharpening file, it is necessary to restrain the handle end of the chainsaw, and it's necessary to restrain the bar while supporting the weight on the bench. My preferred method had been to stick any old rag between my clothing and the end of the bar and then use my not so corpulent belly to prevent the bar from wobbling around. However, what could be better than leather for that job? And if you look really carefully, you can see all the little tiny cuts that the glove has accrued by being pushed up against the end of the bar by the wobbling belly. Yeah, makes sense? Reuse, reuse, recycle. Great, mate. That does for that glove. Meanwhile, this one, with nothing actually wrong with it, it, perforce, is carried over here to be placed in a safe place. Put in a safe place, secured in a safe place. But here's the problem. In the intervening years, it grew at least 3 right gloves with nothing wrong with them. Now, I don't know why it is that only the left-hand gloves failed, but if we leave them there and we look at the gloves that I have been using, hole in the left glove, different finger to the hole in the first work glove, but it's still a hole in the left-hand glove. 5 times in a row. Why is that so? I would have thought a right-handed person would be swinging their right hand around more places, doing more things, getting in the way of more abrasion, friction. I know the left-handed, it gets cut and banged and hit more often. But the gloves, I mean, I wear them to stop little tiny splinters or to stop dirt from charcoaly wood or something like that. You know, I just don't understand why it is that 5 times in a row I've worn out the left glove before I've worn out the right glove. I mean, some of my fingers have been beaten up pretty hard. You know, I had to regrow that whole fingertip. Some of these scars run pretty deep. I just don't understand why it is that the left hand is getting more friction wearing and wearing through the leather right at the tips of, yeah, it's always those 2 fingers. I wear them out at the tips of the left-hand glove, and I just does not, under can stumble. Why for thus be such? It's a pretty good mystery though. Anyway, warbles on a lot to YouTube. Have fun with that. The mystery of the failing left-hand glove. Ciao.